All right, guys, it's Wednesday morning. The market has gapped up massively after the ceasefire news, and we knew the date. We knew it was Tuesday. Trump gave the announcement on Sunday. It was addressed in Monday's video, but there was no way for us to know that the market would have gapped up this much. It's not going to be the full recording to this video. I figured I'd just record a piece of it in the morning as I need to be dialed in. But in case you guys were wondering what things are looking like, right, as of right now, it's looking like this will be the first real major loss of the 11 or 12-week series, I believe, at this point, whichever number we're up to. This is the Iron Condor, and this is the account builder Iron Fly. And if you're curious as to how a trader such as myself would have navigated this, I am down relatively bad here on the SPX. The good thing is that I'm not in max size, which is a smart way to reduce risk. If we knew that there's going to be some sort of binary catalyst, such as an announcement coming out on a Tuesday, it means don't hold your full sizes. If you are opening your positions on a Monday, you reduce your size to limit your risk and limit your exposure to the market. So now that the market has gapped up tremendously, I am in a position here in which I'm going to more than likely just continue to hold here. It's just about weighing the pros and cons. If the market was to pull back at 1%, then I'm not going to be in that much pain. I don't like to make an emotional decision. I don't like to react too quickly, as I already did what I needed to do yesterday. The XSP position at this point was nothing major here, so this is obviously going to be, the expectation is that this is completely dead. I love the futures because that's how I use them to hedge. Now, the previous nights, I already went in with a small hedge on the previous day, which was a out the money call debit spread, and then I ran it back. This position was up, I think, around $700 or so just a few minutes ago. I didn't do anything with it, again, as I'm just going to let the market settle in. For me, it's about just reducing the exposure to risk. And as I saw the way the markets was building up here with the pressure on Monday, I decided to take a swing at 6,700, and then the market was down yesterday, so I closed out that for probably like a $50 loss or so. And then yesterday, just following the signs, the markets looked like it wanted to break. It obviously looked like someone knew what was coming, so I just followed the signs and I decided to take another shot. But this time I went with 6,800, as we can see here. 6,800 was the long call. Now, I really talk specifically just about my positions, but I figured this is a unique situation to showcase to you guys that sometimes it's okay to be down, and sometimes it's okay to be in a little bit of trouble, but don't be emotional, don't overreact. The first order of business is likely going to be just realizing some sort of profit from this, and then looking to see if I want to enter in some sort of a 0 DTE position, or we will let this settle in here. This ES call debit spread is expiring tomorrow, as you guys can see here. I should have went with the 1 DTE, but I went with the 2 DTE just in case the market was to be flat to start the day and then it took off tomorrow, as I wasn't sure if I was going to run it back again for the third time in a row, as this was the acknowledgement of that pressure building up on Monday right here. So I liked the way the pressure is building up here. I grabbed an ES1 DTE out the money call debit spread in case we gap up nice tomorrow based on Trump posts about tomorrow. So that was Monday. Now, I'm a slacker when it comes to following what's going on in the news when it happens, and what Trump is saying and this and that. I generally don't care most of the time, as I just like to follow the data and read price action. So that is one of the ways in which I know I dropped the ball, as I should have went, instead of this day, I should have already gone with the 2 DTE. I should have accounted for, I thought it was going to be 5 p.m. I think other traders told me it was 8 p.m. I actually did not really monitor when the actual news was supposed to drop on Tuesday, which was yesterday. So that's definitely me dropping the ball on things. But it's about acknowledging what's going on in price action. I'm seeing the pressure building up. This is an ascending triangle here, and it's looking like it wants to break. The next day, it did break, but then it retraced during the regular trading session. Yesterday, the compression was pretty tight, but at the end of the day, going into power hour, we can see what happened here is it broke out, and then it managed to hold this position. These are the signs that I look at as it is price action, because the news is going to be flip-floppity. Price action can be flip-floppity as well also, but I believe and I trust in the price action more than anything, as well as our gamma exposure data, the volume profile levels. We know we're in a supply zone, so now I'm not so concerned with the markets going much higher for the next couple of days, although it can, so I'm not going to take my foot off the gas just as yet. This was a supply zone that we have up for a few weeks now. Market should spend some time in here, but if it breaks out above here, we know what's going on with this type of price action. Bears are tremendously in trouble. And this is not a surprise. This is what the market does. And this is why I try to call things out weeks in advance, specifically the 630 level. And I've shared now in the past couple of weeks that I did not think the market was going to go below 630 for the rest of this quarter. I might look crazy when I say these types of things, as I know everyone is thinking we're going much lower. Start talking about the signs that look like the market wants to reverse, specifically this volume spike here on this day, and then this other volume spike here. If you guys check out the video from a couple weeks ago, it almost played out exactly in which the way I said. When we usually get to this spike in volume, the market goes up. If it puts in another leg lower, we see another spike in volume. Strange things tends to happen. The market repeats itself, and now look at where we are. We are at this year-to-date anchored VWAP, right at the 50 daily moving average. The expectation right now, it is very early to assess, but I would say I haven't even looked at the gamma exposure now. If I were to imagine, the price action should consolidate for a bit, but the emotional traders are going to be bears. They are in trouble. This is just a few days of a lots of gains wiped out for bears, and they are the ones that have to buy back on the asking price, which then causes stock prices to rise rapidly. So it is a little bit of a dangerous game. We are past the gamma exposure levels that was expected from myself for this week. So we are in uncharted territory. Implied volatility has decreased significantly. And just like that, the VIX is back around the 20 level. This is all the type of price action that traders with experience know to expect, which is why we don't panic when the market is selling off. We had a significant amount of days in which the market was down. It was a few red weeks in a row. There will always be some sort of catalyst every single time, but at the same time, the price action generally always looks the same. The same thing with the gamma exposure. I will more than likely check back in maybe later in the day to try to actually add some more valuable information to this video, as it's still early. Market just opened just a little over 15 minutes ago, so I'm more than likely expecting a loss in this. Normally, if it wasn't so much of a big gap up, there's opportunity to open up another butterfly and turn it into a Batman spread, but with a gap up this much, I'm not even sure if it's worth it. It is unfortunate that this is going to be our first real major loss. The Iron Condor, I would expect this to just be dead, but that's usually why I always give much less risk to the upside, because my expectation or my fear is usually that the market is going to go up and then stay up versus going down. Whenever the market goes down, it's always going to have some sort of a bounce. Thanks for watching for now, guys. Again, I don't even know if this is the ending of the video. I'm not sure by the time I actually get this up what is going to be the nature of this video and what I'm going to add to it. But let's just say this is the ending and it's just a quick midweek check-in. Then stay tuned for the end of the week, in which I do a proper recap of the week and share some of, I guess, after the dust settles, what happened with some of my personal trades here. But it's not that bad for me, actually, and that's what I like to do when I'm trying to hedge my positions or protect myself, is can I reduce my exposure by at least half? So this being up, call it $600, and then between the SPX being down, call it 1100, and then the XSP being down $200 or so, whatever we want to call it. Oh yeah, there's also the SPY, which was my hedge for the week, but this is essentially, I'm not really that concerned with this. This was just if the markets did go down. You see, I was looking to protect about $1,000 here in exposure, and that would have protected my portfolio in case of the extreme in the opposite direction. And then the way I protected the upside was just with the ES. That's generally how I like to protect the upside. I protected the downside with puts because I want that expansion in volatility. But if the markets does go up, we don't get the expansion in volatility generally. So that's why I go with futures or futures options. In this case, I did not buy a futures contract like I normally would have. It was just too risky, I think, too much of a binary approach. Something I did let myself down that I normally would do is get an NQ call debit spread also, or I would just buy NQ calls that are deep out the money, because whenever the market goes up with this type of activity, it is the NASDAQ that's really going to put in the big move. So the NASDAQ being up over 3% today, I just buy deep out the money NASDAQ calls. The leverage is amazing on those, so I definitely dropped the ball on that, and I'm upset with myself for it, as that would have probably put me in a net neutral, basis where I wouldn't even be down. I don't know if I would have made any money, but I would have been balanced, my whole portfolio balanced there, at least for this account, and I would have been happy. Now, obviously, my long-term portfolio I'm very happy with, because I started scaling into some positions as I've been waiting a long time now at this point to start back building my long-term portfolio. Once we got down in this region, then I was interested. The moment the RSI on the daily time frame started printing the levels that I like to see, I became interested. And that's why I made sure to point this stuff out to you guys. It's time to start thinking long term. Even if the market were to go lower, who cares? You can add more. When you're thinking 3, 5, 10-year timeline, the lower it goes, the better the opportunity. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one.